Hey, this is TV Crazy Man. Today we're going to talk about Captain Caveman. He debuted in the series Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels in 1977. The Teen Angels were sort of a parody of Charlie's Angels. Captain Caveman's design was taken from the 1968 Wacky Racist series characters called the Slag Brothers. And they were basically cavemen that looked pretty much exactly like Captain Caveman, club and all. The story structure was basically like Scooby Doo, where the Teen Angels would find clues that led to the capture of a bad guy at the end of the episode. And they would usually have to unmask the bad guy, just like on Scooby. The only difference was the bad guy wasn't usually dressed as a monster, at least not in every case. And just like the Scooby Gang, the Teen Angels had their own van, except Captain Caveman lived on top of the van in his cave. The open narrative explains to the viewer that Captain Caveman was set free by the Teen Angels from his frozen block of ice.
Now the constant companion to the Teen Angels, Brenda, Dee Dee, and Taffy.
Now if you notice right there in that narrative in the intro, they got Dee Dee and Brenda's names mixed up. Now Captain Caveman would often shout his name before taking off to catch a bad guy, kind of like a war cry.
Captain
But often his power would just give out.
Munga munga, bad time for energy crisis. Munga, Munga, a bad time for power failure. Oh, power fail. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Cavey, you okay?
Hot, hot, oh, ow, what's hot?
Now once in the episode Prehistoric Panic, he got stuck in high gear and he flew himself and the Angels backward into time to his original time and place. Captain Caveman's people seem to have been more primitive than the world of the Flintstones, even though the hero would join the Flintstones in their 80s series. Now Captain Caveman could pull all kinds of prehistoric tools and creatures from his hair, which covered his entire body. Now here's a rare glimpse of what Captain Caveman looks with a haircut and a shave.
Not bad.
His club helped him fly and contained tools that would pop out of the top. He also had super strength that, again, would sometimes fail him. His favorite word was unga bunga. Sometimes Captain Caveman would eat things that aren't considered food, like bikes, TV sets, etc., etc.
Unga bunga and me love candy cane.
Nitroglycerin.
Me so. Smooth.
The series was created by Joe Ruby and Ken Spears for Hanna Barbera. Those guys were responsible for a lot of shows back then, like one of my favorites, Thundar the Barbarian. There were 40 episodes in all that ran from 1977 to 1980. The show was originally a segment of Scooby-Doo's Laff-A-Lympics and then Scooby's All-Stars, in which Captain Caveman also appeared in the game sequences as a player on the Scooby-Doo team. In the last season of that series, Captain Caveman was shown separate from Scooby's Olympics show. Dee Dee Skies was voiced by Vernee Watson, as the brains of the team.
I think we just found our second clue. Come on!
You are a classic TV expert if you guessed her other famous role was that of Will Smith's mother, Viola Smith, on The Fresh Prince. The next character is Brenda Chance. She was the scaredy cat of the bunch, making her more of the Shaggy of the gang. She was voiced by Marilyn Schreffler, who did voice work on a huge list of cartoon shows in the 70s and 80s, including the voice of Olive Oyl on the all-new Popeye Hour. That was another favorite of mine. She did a few on-screen performances, including Simon and Simon, Remington Steele, Airwolf, and Newhart.
Isn't he flying awfully fast?
Taffy Dare was the blonde girl of the group who loved to shout Zowie.
Zowie! This could be our first clue!
She seems to have a crush on Captain Caveman in the series. She was voiced by Laurel Page, who did voice work on cartoons like The Littles, The Dukes, and The Snorks. She also appeared in the movie St. Elmo's Fire as a nurse. The king of Saturday morning himself, Mel Blanc, did the voice of Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman!
Blanc was famous for his work on Looney Tunes, where he voiced Bugs Bunny and, well, almost all the characters from the Looney Tunes like Marvin the Martian, Tweety, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, and Elmer Fudd, just to name a few.
Pity had woe speed. Well, what do you know? I ran out of pities.
He also did a ton of voices for Hanna Barbera, including the voice of Barney Rubble. He also had his own radio show, and he was a big part of the Jack Benny Show from the golden age of television and radio. Gary Owens was the narrator. He also did the voice of Space Ghost and Blue Falcon.
Set free by the Teen Angels from his prehistoric block of glacier ice comes the world's first superhero, Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman exists within the Flintstones universe, as he did show up in the Flintstone Comedy Show between 1980 and 82. In that series, he works at the Daily Granite with Wilma Flintstone and Betty Rubble. He even had a secret identity as Chester the Office Boy. His next show was between 86 and 88 as a backup segment on the Flintstones Kids, in which he starred with his son. Captain Caveman also appeared in the movies Scoob and Space Jam: A New Legacy. And he appeared in the Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated episode Mystery Solvers Club State Finals. Captain Caveman, alongside Cavey Jr. and the Teen Angels, appeared in the 2021 series Jellystone. Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, the complete series, was released on DVD in 2013. As you may have guessed, I was a big fan of Captain Caveman growing up. That's part of the reasons why I created Ugg Lug from my Caveman comic series. Ugg sometimes imagines himself as a caveman superhero named Mighty Ugg. Check out my cartoon parody I made on the TV Crazy Man channel here, where Ugg tries to join the Super Friends at the end of it. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell for future notifications so you don't miss any of my new videos. And please let me know what you think. Share your memories of Captain Caveman. Thanks and have a great day.